Hello again, Dominic Trophy, and welcome to another video. And and welcome to another video. And this one's going to be something video game related. Now, this is actually going to be a mini series that I was going to do last month, and actually a few months ago. Now, many months ago, back in August, when I did my 4th anniversary video, I did obviously a 2-part special on my thoughts about the Wii U, and in that. During that the 2 parts video, I did state that I was going to do a little talk about the Virtual Console, the Nintendo Virtual Console, and obviously with last month being the 10th anniversary of the Wii, but alongside the Virtual Console launching, I want to do something like that. Now, obviously, I didn't do it last month, but this is going to be basically a 5-part mini-series on the Nintendo Virtual Console. Now, this will be part 1, where I talk about the Virtual Console from, 10 years ago last month to now, on the platforms that, use it. So, obviously, the Wii, the 3DS, the Wii U, and the new 3DS. Yes, the new Nintendo 3DS has its own Virtual Console. So, this is going to be part 1, and obviously explain about the Virtual Console and how it is now. The Virtual Console is it's a Nintendo streaming service. Well, if we call it a streaming service, it's basically a service that Nintendo's offered ever since November 19th, 2006, when the Wii launched. And how this service works is basically it allows you to purchase and download classic games onto your the console, whichever it is, and obviously it allows you that the extra content you can basically play on the console. Now, obviously, it's not really classed as backwards compatibility, but it's kind of extending, as I count it, as extending the amount of games on your console. For example, Mega Drive and Master System Virtual Console support on the Wii. That's what I mean. Extending the amount of games on your console. And with this service, it really helped people not only experience these games all over again, but to also gain experiences for the younger generation. For example, when the Wii came out, when the Nintendo Wii first launched back in 2006. I was 11, and most of the consoles most of those consoles I would have never experienced because most of the time I was too young, and so the Virtual Console was a great opportunity for me to try out some of these games from Sega's past, Nintendo's past, SNK and NEC, and it was a great thing for people to try out. So, for example, there was a lot of support that was put into the Wii Virtual Console, which really helped people get the most out of their Nintendo Wii console, and that was a great opportunity. If there weren't if there were no games that you were interested in, the Virtual Console was a great alternative if you want to play some of these games, and that was a great thing that Nintendo offered with this service. But obviously it has changed over time in the 10 years. But it still has offered us a great amount of support and content that we play on our consoles. Because not only do we have the the disc games or the card games, if you want to think about the handhelds. Not only do we have that, but we also have obviously backwards compatibility in our systems, as well as the Virtual Console. And thinking about it, even though it's not really counted as backwards compatibility, I kind of count it as, if you want to think of it, digital backwards compatibility. Because not only, as I said, you're getting these games, but you're also getting the experience of these old games on your new console. And I think that was the thing that you really got out of the console. And it definitely served you amount of years of fun on your console, and it was just a great great service that Nintendo offered you. Now, obviously, there was Xbox Live and Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network. So obviously, it wasn't the first one that was ever made, but it was Nintendo's online service that they offered you, because I know over time they do get a lot of bad comments and bad press about when it comes to their online services. But if you think about it, Nintendo, well, mostly in Japan, has always been huge on the online front. Since going back to the Nintendo Famicom, they were modems and everything for it. Same with the Super Famicom, with the Satellaview. And then there was the 64DD RANDnet, or LandNet as it's pronounced, due to the language barrier. But you had this service, and it's, again, crazy to think that Nintendo started all the way back to the Famicom, the original console. And it definitely shows you that they were ahead of the times. Even like Sega, they had online services on, some of their consoles, like the Saturn and obviously the Dreamcast. So even though Nintendo does get a lot of bad press about that, they have definitely been there. And obviously this was the first time with the Wii that people all around the world got to experience a full online, service by Nintendo, which definitely shows you, that they were ahead of what they did, with the Virtual Console. And it's a great thing, because I always hear positive things a lot from people, and any time when I hear any sort of Virtual Console support, I'm thinking, is the Wii U getting this? Is the 3DS getting that? What else could we have seen on the Wii? That sort of stuff. And even though, again, people might say that, even if you don't buy, like actual games for the Wii U or the 3DS or whatever, it's still a great thing for the Virtual Console. And that's why, for me, even if I wasn't a Nintendo fan, even though I am, and I think, there's, the Super NES games on the Wii U, there are, Game Boy Advance games on it and stuff, all that stuff. The Virtual Console is a great world for people to get into the old games, because the reason I think the Virtual Console was a great thing is due to the fact it helps consumers get those games at a cheaper price. Now, the thing is that a lot of older games, like Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, that sort of stuff, even like, PlayStation, Saturn, a lot of the older consoles are really, really expensive. So a lot of companies release like collections of old games, so that not only the older generation can experience it, but it also gives the younger generation a chance to properly experience it. And that's what really, really helps with these re-releases of old games, and the Virtual Console's a great thing. And it really showed me the worlds to these new games that I'd never experienced before. For example, it was the first time I ever played NES games. The Super Mario Brothers, the first time I ever properly played the game, and I will explain that in my Wii video, Wii Virtual Console video. So for me, it's just been an amazing journey for Nintendo to give me and everyone else, these new experiences, these old experiences of playing these old games. And even though a lot of people might have a lot of these Super NES or N64 games, they might have like 5 copies of them, it still gives them another chance to play them again. And, that's the thing, experience them on new consoles. And that is one thing I've loved about the Virtual Console. But it also helped emulation become good overall. That's the thing. Emulation is not a bad thing. And it's just a great way to give people, this experience of playing these games. For example, with Earthbound, it got released on the Wii U Virtual Console, 3 years ago. And then it got released on the new 3DS Virtual Console, which I will be talking about in those videos. But it's just been a great opportunity for Nintendo to give us these chances again, and experience these old games all over again. And I think if you've never tried it, you know, it's definitely worth, you know, having a go and, you know, playing these old games, you know, playing these NES games, playing these Mega Drive games, N64, TurboGrafx, any of those. It's definitely a great way to play them and, you know, try them out. Because overall I've had a lot of great experience with it, you know, with the Virtual Console. One of the best things that have ever come out from Nintendo, just one of the best things. And I love it to bits. But before I go, I just want to say, you know, thank you very much for watching. Part 2 will be about the Wii Virtual Console and my experience of it. Part 3 will be the 3DS Virtual Console. Part 4 will be the Wii U Virtual Console, and Part 5 will be the new 3DS Virtual Console. And I may be throwing in a Part 6 in there for obviously the next generation Nintendo console that we all know about, and obviously rumours about its Virtual Console and my thoughts about it. So I just want to say, hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you continue watching the series. Just want to say thank you very much. Bye.